Hello, everyone, and happy Thursday. I'm going to check my phone real quick. Let's make sure that we are, in fact, live. Technology is great when it works right. So let's just make sure. Yes, it looks like we are doing good. Awesome. Yes, so we are live. Hope you guys are doing well today. It's Thursday. I can't believe that we're almost to the end of the week. But I am, and if you're joining me, if you will hashtag live, if you are catching the replay, if you will hashtag replay, that would be amazing so that I can connect with you guys. And I am streaming live today in my Facebook group, Calculated Profits or my Facebook page, Calculated Profits, my Facebook group, Finance, Tax, and Bookkeeping Strategies for Thriving Entrepreneurs. And I'm also streaming in my YouTube channel. So if you are new to my lives, if you're new to my channel, I will introduce myself. My name is Stephanie Manley, and I am a virtual CFO and profit strategist. So what does that mean? Well, I help you keep track of your numbers, show you how those numbers affect your business, and also show you ways to increase your profits. So again, if you are just joining me, I see a couple of you hopping on. That's awesome. Remember that I am streaming live via StreamYard today, which means for your comments, you have to give StreamYard permission for me to be able to see who you are. And if you're streaming live, please hashtag live. And if you're catching the replay, please hashtag replay. So jumping in, today is all about cash flow. And what does that even mean? So there's lots of terms that are tossed around in the accounting industry. You hear profit and loss, you hear balance sheet. And the third little report that a lot of bookkeepers and even accountants don't use on a regular, but you should, is your cash flow statement. So I want to tell you a little bit about what cash flow is, how it affects your business. But before I do that, I want to tell you that most businesses that fail, their number one reason that they fail is because they lack money. So they lack cash. Even businesses who are profitable have cash flow issues or can have cash flow issues. So I don't want you to misinterpret a couple of things. And that's the first thing I'm going to tell you is your profit and loss is not a cash flow. Okay. Two totally different things, both very, very important, but different. And I don't want you to confuse the two as we start talking about this today. Okay. So what is cash flow? Very simple. Cash flow is essentially what comes in your bank account minus what goes out your bank account. Nothing about profits here, right? It's just what goes in minus what comes out. That is your cash flow. And it's important that you are tracking this. You're looking at this on a regular basis. And when I say regular, I want you in there every single day. If you can't do it daily, at least do it every 3 to 4 days. That would be extremely, extremely helpful to you in your business. So let's talk about what goes in. So what are some things that go into your bank account? The first thing I want you to think about is revenue, right? You're in business, you're making money. So that's your income. Those are things that you are collecting for services, products that you may be selling. That's revenue. Other things that could come into your bank account that affect your cash flow are loans. So maybe you took advantage of the PPP loan, right? That would be money going into your account. It may be loans from a bank. It may be some loans from a credit card that maybe you've taken. The other thing could be owner's contribution. So you as an owner could put your personal funds into your business banking account. And guys, if you haven't already seen the video or seen any of my posts, I highly recommend that you're keeping separate banking accounts for your business and for your personal. Okay, it's highly, highly important. That's step number one, right? So things going in, deposits are going to be revenue, sales, income, loans, and owner's contribution. So anything going into your account, that would be what those are. Okay. And then the things that are going to come out of your bank account on a regular basis, those are business expenses. It may be cost of goods. It may be advertising. It may be paying your virtual assistant. It may be payroll. It could be supplies, your cell phone bill for your business. Those would be business expenses that are coming out of your account. And then when you pay yourself, and I hope that you guys are paying yourself on a regular basis. If you're not doing it weekly or biweekly, I highly recommend that you at least do that on a monthly basis, but you need to be paying yourself out of your business. Okay. And then personal expenses. Remember, let's rewind. I told you to keep separate business and checking accounts. Well, even so, sometimes, even though it's not ideal, you may find yourself swiping that debit card for your business for something that's personal. And that's still coming out of your account, right? What goes out is part of cash flow. So we have to include that as well. And that's part of it. Those things would not be included on a profit and loss statement. That's why it's different. Okay. So cash flow, what goes in versus what goes out. And if you have any questions as we're going, if you'll just drop those in the comments, and I'm going to check comments here to see. Awesome. Thank you, Olivia. Yay. All right. So let's keep going. Any questions, just keep popping them in there for me. That would be amazing. So now that you know what cash flow is, think to yourself, how many times have you opened your bank account and maybe it's in the negative, or maybe you look at your bank account and you see the balance is 500, but you know you just wrote a rent check yesterday for 1,000. Right? You know that check's going to bounce, or either the bank's going to pay it and then they're going to charge you those NSF fees for that. Those are issues with cash flow. All right. And there's so many reasons that you could have issues with cash flow in your business, even if it's profitable. And one of the things that I see on a regular basis is that owners are just so caught up in the day-to-day of doing work for clients that they forget to send their invoices. And if that's you and you don't mind telling me, say that's you in the comments. But it happens. I have felt, victim of that myself. I get busy and I just forget, right? I now have a system set up in my business that I don't worry about sending invoices. It's all done automatically and I don't have to worry about it, right? It's just done. I know that I'm going to get paid. Okay. Another issue is maybe you do send those invoices, but your clients are not very quick to pay you. And then you just let it slide, right? You sent an invoice 30 days ago and they didn't pay you. And then 30 more days goes by and you're like, oh, wow, I didn't, check up with that client. So now I feel bad, right? You ever been there? I've been there. And so what happens is you're doing so much work and you have expenses against that work. But then you're not getting paid. So money's going out of your bank account for payroll, for assistant services, maybe your own pay, but nothing was coming in to offset it. Okay. That's issues with cash flow. Another issue that I see with cash flow a lot is that you're not tracking your income and your expenses. So you have no clue what it's really costing you to run your business. Okay. I'm all about a break-even point. And when I work with my clients, that's one of the things that we talk about is where is your break-even? Do I want you to be more successful than break-even? Of course I do. But we need to know where that break-even point is so that we can back into the number to really set goals for your business. So a few tips for you on cash flow in case you are struggling with cash flow. Tip number one is going to be collect money faster. This can be done in several different ways. The first is to automate your invoicing. Super, super simple. If you're using QuickBooks, this can be done very, very easily. If you're using an onboarding app or software such as Dubsado or Honeybook, it also can be done straight through there if you have your workflows in order. Okay. So one is getting out the invoices. That's the first thing. The second thing is to maybe offer incentives for people to pay you quicker. So maybe it's due in 10 days or due in 30 days. Give them an incentive to pay it sooner. Okay. And then also stagger your invoices. So many companies I see bill one time a month. But your bills, guys, are not due just one time a month. And sometimes it's hard to stretch those funds, to budget and really, stretch those for 30 days. So I recommend staggering your invoices at least twice a month. And that can be done, again, automatically in QuickBooks or through your onboarding software. Tip number 3 is going to be, again, space out that income and your expenses. So space it out. Like I just told you with your invoicing, don't just bill one time a month. Bill strategically throughout the month. Look at your expenses, see when most of them are due, right? And that's when you want to collect most of your money. The other thing with that is your expenses. Maybe you notice that most of your expenses are due on the 1st. Did you know that you could call your credit card companies and stagger those payments? You can stagger your utilities, maybe pay, half on the 1st and half on the 15th. That would so help you with cash flow. All right. And the third thing, which seems kind of simple, but most people forget, is to just simply cut your expenses. Look at your expenses, see how much you're actually spending. Where are you spending? Is there a return on that investment? Okay, guys, if you have a subscription that you've been paying for 3 months and you haven't even opened the website, it's time to cut the subscription. You can always sign back up, right? And I say that because I've done that. I had a Kajabi subscription for 6 months because I just knew I was going to convert to Kajabi. Never did. And Kajabi is pretty expensive. So take my own advice here and cut expenses that you are not using. Okay. Well, with all that being said, I have a bonus, and this is really for all of it. The bonus tip is going to be to get your books in order. There's no way for you to know how much you're collecting in revenue. There's no way for you to know how to stagger your income or your expenses. And there's no way for you to know how to cut or what to cut in your expenses if your books are not in order. You're just throwing darts, right? You have no clue. So get your books in order. That is, I can't tell you enough. I see so many entrepreneurs who go into business and they spend so much time and so much money in advertising and websites and all the things, all the software subscriptions. But the one thing that's going to keep their business alive and not able to fail is their finances. And they forget that. And they forget it because it's no fun, right? I mean, I'm in business for myself. I love numbers, but my personal finances, that's not fun. What's fun is making new services and doing ads and talking with other customers and clients on Facebook and just really communicating. That's what's fun for me. So I can only imagine what's fun for you and your business. Okay. And normally finances is not it. So if finances is not your thing, I get it. But it doesn't mean that it doesn't have to be done. So if you're struggling with cash flow problems, the number one thing to do is to get your books in order. And guys, yes, I'm a bookkeeper. Do I want to do your books? Of course I do. But even if I don't do it and it's not time for you to outsource, and I get it, some businesses are just not to that point ready to outsource. So I'm going to tell you, don't. If you're not there and you can't afford it, don't do it. But do it yourself. And you can do it yourself. So several options for you out there to do your books yourself. Download QuickBooks. Okay. Now I'll tell you, if you're going to do QuickBooks yourself, please go do lots of training because QuickBooks is super simple on the surface, but it's not so super simple once you get into it. Okay. If you don't know the terminology. The other option for you to do is to use a spreadsheet. I actually have a spreadsheet called the Calculated Tax Planner. Many people in this group here, if you're in the Facebook group, have used the planner. And it's super simple. You enter your income, you enter your deductions. It tells you what your profit, what your loss is. It'll tell you what your cash flow looks like, all the things. And that's great on a monthly basis, on a regular basis for you to track your cash flow. But what's even better is come tax time, all your books are ready. It's simple. It's there. It's done for you. So if you like the planner, I'm going to put the link for it down below here in a bit for you to download. If you want to send me a DM, I'll be glad to send you the information for it that way as well. And then, any questions, I'm going to throw my website up here too. So you'll have that, lots of free resources there for you. Awesome. Any questions about cash flow? So this is, I tell you guys all the time, here at the end, I'm going to give you a Q&A session. So if there's any questions, if you will please just drop them in the comments here, and I'm going to check to make sure that I can see all of those, and I'll answer those for you live. I'm going to give it like a minute. But guys, please, please, please get your books in order. Don't wait until it's time to do your taxes to get your books in order, because then you're only doing your books for compliance. You're not doing your books to gain any knowledge at all about your business, to make any changes, to grow your company. Okay. So any questions? I'm going to check one more place here. Okay. It looks like, whoops, we are good. Okay. I don't see any questions, so I'm going to hop off. I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to reach out. I'm always here to help you guys. So have an awesome day, and I'll see you soon. See you next Thursday at 1 o'clock. Bye, guys.